Today, we are going to learn how to make hash with this knife and all this stuff and that pan and some other stuff. So first, you want to get 4 potatoes, probably about this size, maybe a bit bigger or smaller. Chop them up like that. No, rinse them first. Rinse them. I already rinsed this potato. Just kind of run it under some cold water. Do that a bit. Now, chop it in half. Half again, and then in little pieces. Do that with all the sides, and do pieces about that big-ish. Now I'm not gonna put them in the bowl because there's not enough room in there. I'll do it with the other half. And always use a cutting board, because if you cut your mother's counter, she's going to be very mad at you. Okay, next you want 1 medium-sized onion, probably about that big. Don't get a little tiny onion or a great big giant onion, because it would be too big or too small. A couple tricks I've learned: you can either freeze your onion before you cut it, or run it under cold water before you cut it, or run it under cold water during you cut it. While you cut it. So, I'm not going to run it under cold water because I'm dicing it and it'll all go everywhere. So dice it, you want to cut it in half. Slice it once, twice here, without losing the middle piece. Now, let's make them small. There, just like that, and then they'll crumble apart. Go smaller, and then do the same thing with the second half. There. Makes me very sad. And you also need 1 cup of cheese. That is a cup because I already measured that. I can. Now, first you want to cook your potatoes. Well, you weren't watching. I used my magical powers to teleport all the food over here. So, first off, you're going to want to start by putting some oil. I prefer olive oil, or you can use vegetable oil if you don't have it. I wouldn't if you have olive oil, or butter. Just put a little bit in, enough to coat the pan. It's kind of turn it around. Once it gets warmer, it'll be easier. Put it on a low heat. I'm going to put a bit more olive oil in there. There. It kind of looks like a ghost. Get some ghosty looking olive oil. Spread that around a bit. Now, take all of your potatoes, put them in the pan. Don't splatter you or your cameraman, because that hurts a lot. Now, we're gonna let those cook for a long time, stirring every 7 minutes or so. Exactly. So, I need a spatula. I got my spatula. And while you're cooking them, be sure to stir it every so often and whatnot. About 10 minutes. Keep the lid on it and let it cook. While you're waiting, you can compose a classical piece of music or practice your tuba if you want to. Or get done that ridiculous assignment that you've been putting off for weeks. Just always remember to stir it in between those amazing things you're doing, productive things you're doing. And always use a hot pad holder, because that would be a rather large hospital bill, or just a lot of water. Give it just stirred. So, while you're cooking your potatoes, you want to get them at the point when they're not quite soft enough to eat, but softer than when they were. Still a bit crunchy. So, right now, when you want to take all your onions, the ones on the cutting board, and Don't throw them in, but put them in there. And don't drop the bowl. Be good. Now stir it around. If you can pick up your spatula, and go into there. Get all the stuff off the bottom and don't drop potatoes. That will burn them and catch things on fire. There. Once that's all stirred in, set it down. Use your hot pad holder because you don't want to scald yourself. Set it on there. And do more productive things while you wait. So as I was doing more productive things, they're now done. Don't do that. As you can see, they look rather mushy. And the onions start to become transparent. Make sure they're soft enough. Oh, yeah. Okay. Now, take 4 eggs. Crack them into the gunk. Try to do it quickly though, because actually don't try to do it too quickly. Then you might make a mess, like I'm doing. Alright, now take that and stir it all around. The eggs help to give it a firmer texture and make it all around firmer. Okay, now when that is stirred in, take your uno el capo of cheese, that's Spanish for 1 cup. Not really. Sprinkle it in there, on there, above it, loading. Take it and stir it around. It's a very intense face they're making. As of right now, it looks kind of gross, but I assure you when it is done, it will taste amazing. Now at this point, do not add fish. That will make it taste gross. Put some salt. Put some fish. Pepper. Not fish, pepper. Now go to your spice cabinet. Put some garlic salt. Put some garlic salt on there. Stir that around. You don't necessarily have to stir it around because that wouldn't really work. Just mix it up. Mix it up as much as you can. As much as you can. Yeah! Ow! Don't burn yourself though. And you know what I think? Cameraman just sabotaged me. Sister, camera sister. So, I think it looks done. Eggs are nice and eggy. Just the Ote pose. Yeah. These are amazing. That was really hot, now my throat's burning. It's all good now. Now, at this point, you can add hot sauce if you want to give it an extra little kick. Or salsa would be good, but I don't have any salsa. And since my sister doesn't care too much for spicy things, I won't put any hot sauce in the batch. Just me and mine. Anyway, there you are. Your lovely hash stuff. And then, one last very important step that you can't forget. Eat it. Because that is the point of the whole thing.
As an older sister note, I would like to comment on this hash that my little brother made, which was delicious, by the way. However, for those of you who might want to add a little bit of green to your meal, a really good and tasty idea is to, if you have any bell peppers, saute those up and put them in at the same time as your onions, and that makes it really delicious. And also, if you're trying to stay away from dairy, you can leave out the cheese and it'll be just as good. It helps to hold it together, but the eggs also do that, so you might want to add an extra egg. Other than that,
That's hot. That's hot. Oh, that's really hot. Like burning hot. This has nothing to do with it. Product placement.
What is going on?